Hello, everyone. Yes, here comes the English part of our portion of this show, the English portion, right? I mean, but I did understand some of that. I know you were talking about the three events that I will be appearing at, and I want to thank you all for, giving me this opportunity to come to Mexico and perform some great music. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and thanks for the introduction. John and I get along and respect each other, and we know what we're up to all the time. But until that happens, I will say that there was a label that wanted to make LPs from the two solo records, and then they even reissued the live record, and they sold out very fast. So that was a nice feeling personally. But who knows? I mean, everyone here should remember, if you don't know my resume, that really for 23 years I was with Grand Funk Railroad, and we were working nearly every weekend. And the times that I was able to get away was because of a break in the schedule, or there just wasn't some gigs booked. So it was always hard for me to explore a lot of different things. Of course, when I got booked on the Kiss cruise, I was able to tell, Grand Funk that, look, that was booked a year in advance. So it was easy for me to plan those things. Now that I left that band, well, the non-makeup years, as I refer to it, I think was a very important decade for Kiss. I was there 12 years, and the year before, they already took off the makeup for Lick It Up, of course, and then Animalize is when I was introduced to the band. For the touring, I did a little bit on the record. And obviously, it made a huge impact on so many people.
Muy agradecidos de que estén con nosotros en este espacio. Me da mucho gusto ver a muchos amigos por aquí conectados. Y efectivamente, como bien dice Sergio, esta es una gira muy especial porque nuestro amigo y el señor Bruce Kulick va a tener dos shows exclusivos, que es el de la Ciudad de México en la Maraka el día jueves 21 de noviembre a las 8 de la noche, ahí en la Maraka en Narvarte. Y el día 23 de noviembre en el Café Iguana en Monterrey. Ustedes ya los conocen muy bien estos lugares. Y va a estar acompañado de pues lo que al día de hoy se considera el mejor tributo de México, que es Carnival of Kiss. Entonces, estamos muy emocionados por estos dos shows que son exclusivos. Y hace muchos años que el señor Bruce Kulick no viene a nuestro país, entonces tenemos la oportunidad por fin de traerlo una vez más. Y también quiero hacer una mención que va a estar como invitado especial el día 20 de noviembre en la Arena Ciudad de México, en el evento Rockland, donde va a tocar un tema junto a 800 músicos. También estén muy al pendiente de ese evento, es Rockland en la Arena Ciudad de México el día 20, miércoles 20 de noviembre. Y tenemos una sorpresa por ahí, va a estar también su amigo que ustedes también ya conocen, el señor Gilby Clark de Guns N' Roses. Y tenemos la sorpresa también de la participación de Tim Markor de Evanescence. Entonces, estén muy al pendiente también de esos eventos. Entonces es el 20 en el Rockland, el 21 en La Maraca, aquí en la Ciudad de México, y el 23 en Monterrey. Únicamente esos shows exclusivos en esta mini tour. Y bueno, rapidísimo, perdón, déjenme introducir ahora sí al señor Bruce Kulick, ex guitarrista de Kiss. Mr. Bruce Kulick, the members of the press.
Hello, everyone. Yes, here comes the English part of our portion of this show, the English portion, right? I mean, but I did understand some of that. I know you were talking about the three events that I will be appearing at, and I want to thank you all for, giving me this opportunity to come to Mexico and perform some great music. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and thanks for the introduction.
No, thanks. Dice que, bueno, que sí entendió algo de lo que estábamos platicando, que estamos hablando de estos tres shows en los que se va a presentar en México, que está muy agradecido por la oportunidad de volver al país y presentar su música. Y bueno, y también con todos los miembros de la prensa está muy agradecido por estar en este momento. Ahora sí, Humberto, te cedo la palabra.
That's exciting to hear, actually. Yeah. All right. Well, first, look, every time I've been to Mexico, I've been welcomed with huge, loving welcome arms, from the Mexican fans. And we all know the culture of Mexico is family, is so important. And it means something to me that I just know that Kiss made an impact there, like many other places in the world. And every time I've been there, it's just been a real good experience. So it's been a long time. And, even though I made some visits and, post Kiss, I know that right now is this 30th anniversary of these giant, South America and then Mexico Monsters of Rock shows. And I think the last one we did on September 8th, 1994 was actually in Mexico. Some people were sharing those YouTubes and the audio for me and some stories. And I just remember it was very exciting. And the other times that I went with both Eric Singer and myself previously post Kiss was always a wonderful time, So this is a great return to Mexico, as we've titled this. Now, to your Michael Bolton thing, we do keep in touch. Michael had a very scary health thing happening last December, I believe. And he had to cancel all of this year. And I'm sure, when he's, I believe he's going to be back out there in 25. But certainly, if he's ready to want to do something with me, I'd be honored, for that collaboration. We have a lot of history together, of course. But I was unaware that he actually, told you that personally. But like I said, we have a good relationship. So that's exciting.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you, Omar. Thank you very much.
Gracias, gracias. Va a ser un poco complicado poder traducir literalmente todas las palabras del señor Bruce Kulick. Entonces vamos a tratar cuando haya respuestas muy largas, pues vamos a buscar alguna otra posibilidad. Tal vez una vez que graben ustedes las respuestas, las puedan traducir al momento de la nota. Porque sí va a ser muy complicado traducir una frase demasiado larga, se pierden las ideas. De Michael Bolton, que le entusiasma la noticia que le dice Humberto, que le comparte sobre la posibilidad de hacer algo juntos. Y sobre todo hizo énfasis en que, bueno, se enteró que Michael Bolton tuvo que cancelar toda la gira y que, bueno, pues está esperando que próximamente pueda volver a los escenarios, que él sabe que pues, es un gran músico y que pues pronto espera que se pueda llevar a cabo, que se pueda realizar esta mancuerna, entre otras cosas que, como les digo, son muchas ideas y es muy extenso. Entonces, ahí sí dependeríamos un poquito de que nos ayuden con la grabación y la puedan traducir, porque es muy larga la idea.
Sí, fue un poquito extenso, sí, claro.
John and I keep in touch. He was very fortunate, of course, to get the job with Dead Daisies. I know there was some time when he left and then he went back. And, we haven't quite gotten the proper approach by a promoter to say, please, here's where we'd like you to play. Let's work this out for Union to do a reunion, okay? The nice thing is that John and I get along and respect each other and we know what we're up to all the time. But until that happens, I will say that there was a label that wanted to make LPs from the two solo records, and then they even reissued the live record, and they sold out very fast. So that was a nice feeling personally. But who knows? I mean, everyone here should remember, if you don't know my resume, that really for 23 years I was with Grand Funk Railroad, and we were working nearly every weekend. And the times that I was able to get away was because of a break in the schedule, or there just wasn't some gigs booked. So it was always hard for me to explore a lot of different things. Of course, when I got booked on the Kiss cruise, I was able to tell, Grand Funk that, look, that was booked a year in advance. So it was easy for me to plan those things, Now that I left that band in December of 23, it gives me a lot of opportunities to look ahead. And, for example, Eddie from Carnival of Kiss has been in touch with me for about a year now, always asking, when do you think you can come to Mexico. My band would love to play with you. Here's what we do. And I kept that relationship going, knowing that I think something could be done in 2024. And here we are. I'm very flattered everyone's talking about Michael Bolton and John Corabi and Union, because everyone I've worked with, really I've kept great relationships with, and I know there's interest there. But obviously for me as a guitarist who's connected to Kiss besides these other elements, is most proud to come and celebrate my era of Kiss. And I couldn't pick a better band than Carnival of Kiss to be my group, because these guys live and breathe Kiss every day, sort of like me. Okay. So that's the point of this experience coming down and these shows. But I'm always open to hear other things in the future, obviously, with everybody I've worked with. Who knows,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Claro. Bueno, pues sí, efectivamente, pregunta Humberto que si hay posibilidades de que se una con John Corabi. Tenían una banda hace unos años, y si hay alguna posibilidad de que se vuelvan a unir. Dice Bruce que está en constante comunicación con él, y que es una persona que conoce muy bien y que se respetan mutuamente, y que, bueno, que actualmente John Corabi se encuentra de regreso después de un tiempo lejos de la banda. Se encuentra de regreso con Dead Daisies. Actualmente está de gira. Incluso yo, Marroland, he hablado con él hace poco. Y bueno, que Bruce también dejó su banda hace unos años, entonces él está abierto a las nuevas oportunidades. Hasta el momento ningún promotor se ha acercado, y ahí es donde nosotros podremos alzar la mano. Ningún promotor se ha acercado todavía, o alguna disquera, para que esta reunión pueda consolidarse. Pero que bueno, está abierto a todas las posibilidades a partir de ahora. Él está en el momento de celebrar su paso por Kiss, y que él desde hace unos años ha tenido la oportunidad de estar en contacto con Eddie de Carnival of Kiss, quien ya había platicado muchas veces esta oportunidad de venir a México y hacer este proyecto que estamos haciendo juntos. Entonces, eso da también respuesta a muchos rumores de cómo se había dado esta situación, este proyecto. Y sí, efectivamente fue gracias a la iniciativa de Carnival of Kiss y un servidor, que hablamos con Bruce para poder llevarlo a cabo. Entonces, él está abierto a todas las posibilidades que vengan en el futuro, y esperemos que todos estos proyectos se puedan dar en el futuro próximo.
Well, the non-makeup years, as I refer to it, I think was a very important decade for Kiss. I was there 12 years, and the year before, they already took off the makeup for Lick It Up, of course, and then Animalize is when I was introduced to the band. For the touring, I did a little bit on the record. And obviously, it made a huge impact on so many people, and I'm very proud of that. But I do know that it's becoming more nostalgic for people to hear those songs and to celebrate that era. Because as Kiss went on to the reunion tour, everything went back to more of the makeup years and their first 10 years or so, maybe even less, of all the songs, the songs from those albums, besides, of course, the outfits. And they stayed in makeup even with the changes with Tommy and Eric, who are both good friends of mine. And the focus was not so much on my era, an occasional song from the non-makeup years. And I've noticed in the past 5 or 6 years, there's this tremendous interest in this connection to all the albums and the tours. And I've been celebrating that personally. Social media is great for that, a YouTube channel as well, to remind people about it. And the reaction's been amazing. And now that they've ended their illustrious 50 years of touring and being a live touring band and everything, of course, Kiss will live on. But I do really feel more than ever right now that those years mean a lot to a lot of people. And, I'm just going to do my best, since I'm the perfect person to represent it and to present certainly the guitar playing of that era had my, my style and ability all over it. So celebrating those years are a big focus of my moving forward and how I feel about Kiss. And it's actually getting a very, very good reaction. Very proud of it.
Yeah. Can I make another question? The dog's makeup was your idea,
I made a joke. It really was a joke.
but was a nice one.
It's simple, okay? There was always a cat, right? So, and I happen to love dogs. And for many years, I had a little dog. My first solo record was called Audio Dog. So I just would make a joke and say like, oh, I beat a dog, It was really clear that even though Eric Carr got the fox, thank God he changed at the last minute from the hawk, okay,
Yeah.
to the fox. Vinny was given this Ankh thing, but I can tell that Gene and Paul and the vibe of trying to find new, characters was not going to be an easy task. Hence, Tommy becomes the spaceman, Eric Singer becomes the Catman, and that was what it was going to be forever and ever. The discussions that fans have about what would you be? I've had contests, I've had people submit things, some of them very creative, but honestly, I think that era should be left alone. I never saw myself being someone in makeup, and I feel that the power of the music and the commitment to great shows during my years, we didn't need the makeup. It was a different era for the band, and this is why it's kind of silly to me to imagine what makeup would I wear. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it was a revolution. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Mhm.
See you soon. Listo, muchas gracias.
Omar,
Wow, bueno, contestando la última pregunta, le pregunta a Diego que a qué se debe esto del maquillaje del perro, ¿no? Y Bruce nos platica que ya todo mundo, en esa época ya todo mundo pues tenía su personaje, aunque ya el resto de la banda ya no lo estuviera usando en la época en la que estaba tocando, todo mundo tenía su personaje. Y entonces él decide como una broma, pues él ha estado relacionado con esta onda del perro, entonces él decide como una broma usar el maquillaje del perro, básicamente. Y la otra pregunta fue, Diego, ¿me la recuerdas, por favor?
Sí, fue la pregunta sobre cómo se sintió él en la era sin el
Ah, claro.
maquillaje y cómo repercutió en los fans y la percepción de la banda.
Claro, bueno, fue una pregunta también muy extensa y seguramente voy a perder alguna de las ideas, pero de lo que sí me quedo es que, bueno, pues ya la banda ya venía preparando esta etapa en la que se iban a quitar el maquillaje y Bruce estuvo, pues, estuvo 12 años y un poquito más, ya casi 13 años porque hizo algunas cosas antes, estuvo de tour desde antes, entonces sí, que cree que es una gran época muy importante y que ahora incluso él está apreciando aún más el hecho de que fue una gran época, sobre todo para la gente que lo escuchó en ese momento, que escuchó la música de Kiss en ese momento y ahora es cuando más lo aprecia. Ya después de varios años se empieza a dar cuenta de todo el impacto que tuvo esa época en el corazón de los fans.
I'm very aware of the 30 years. I made a big mention on social media about the start of that tour. I could have continued and mentioned every country, but I know the last one was Mexico City on September 8th. August 27th is when we started in Brazil, which was well filmed and a fantastic performance. I know our set list, Kiss, back in 94 was very, very strong. And Eddie and I have been going back and forth with songs. I easily could have said to Eddie, we're doing the same show as Mexico 30 years ago, okay? But that might leave off some very important songs I think that I represent. I don't think we played Tears Are Falling, Eddie, right? In Mexico back then, possibly. So you understand that depending on what was happening with, to me, my resume and my song list is very reflective of the best of me and what I feel would make the best connection with the fans. It's a blessing and a curse to be involved with Kiss that has a catalog of probably 250 songs. So what are the best? What happened here? Hang on. Do you still see me, guys?
No,
Okay, I don't know what happened. Something all of a sudden.
we don't know.
I know. I don't know either.
Excellent, thank you, Bruce. Él dice que está perfectamente consciente de que hace 30 años Kiss se presentó por acá, también que en el 79 estuvo en Brasil y que hicieron un concierto también legendario, creo que me parece que fue su primer concierto. Entonces, él estuvo hablando justamente con Carnival of Kiss sobre el performance que se iba a dar y se tenía la idea originalmente de presentar justamente ese video de ese show que se dio en Brasil. Pero eso dejaría fuera algunos temas, por lo cual se hizo una reestructuración del line-up y se incluyen unos temas que van a disfrutar mucho y que dice que van a estar todos muy contentos. Él no quiere dejar nada fuera, entonces pues podemos esperar lo mejor de la época en la que participó con Kiss.
The two biggest projects that I'd love to announce to know what would happen with or when are writing a book, which I've only begun by kind of coming up with all the notes and materials to be able to start telling my story. And the music, I've already written and have demos to things that could be on my next solo record, which I'm sure will be. And then making progress with it has been stop and start because of things like our press conference, going to Mexico, getting involved with custom build guitars with my name on it, going and doing other events and creating, there's always something going on regarding my career that I really do need to focus more on, those particular projects so I could proudly say, 2025, this is going to be ready. This has been a big year of change for me. I was so typically traveling every weekend for Grand Funk, and it was very hard to do a lot of these kind of bigger personal things about my legacy. But I do know that this year I'm learning how to balance it all and how to be able to do it in the best way. I'm also extremely bit of a perfectionist that I want everything the best it can be. And that takes a lot of time and attention. So let's just say I have some goals for both of those in 2025 to at least one or the other or both could be available for everybody. And it's going to be great. I don't want to do it fast just to do it in a poor manner. So I hope everyone's patient because I promise great music and a great book.
Okay.
La pregunta fue sobre el nuevo material, música original de Bruce. Él ha estado trabajando mucho tiempo en este material y dice que el 2025 va a ser por fin el año en el que pueda ver la luz. Él dice que es bueno, que ha sido muy difícil también compartir este tipo de material que es muy personal y que, bueno, él ha sido muy minucioso y perfeccionista, entonces está esperando el momento para hacerlo todo de la manera adecuada, de la mejor manera, y bueno, que en el próximo año va a ser el año en el que esto pueda salir a la luz. That your first band was Love, and after that you played one of the most legendary shows with Kiss as such as Alive 3. So playing with this kind of bands, what was your what did you learn professionally with playing with those huge bands?
Meatloaf was a really interesting job for me because there I am in a band with my brother Bob, 9 people on stage, and all he had was a record and some tour support. And it started off very tentatively, meaning there wasn't immediate success. And then all of a sudden there was radio hits. And then in a short period of time, we're playing arenas and traveling the world for a year. And that was really an incredible ride. It was very difficult at times, but it was something that I learned so much from. The dynamics of a band, what it would be to tour the world and actually play arenas, not just a club or a theater. And I'm so glad I have that experience, because I had no idea that I'd be asked to be in KISS. They already announced their new guitar player in 1984, this man named Mark St. John. And then all of a sudden he has an illness and I'm helping out on tour. And then they realized when they let Mark come back and play, they didn't let go of me. They wanted to see how he would do, and they knew they had the right guy with me. So all of a sudden I'm in KISS, okay? It was a strange way to enter the band. But that experience I had with Meatloaf touring, playing arenas, and the dynamics of all those individuals was very helpful for me. And I know that I was able to relate to Gene and Paul and understand the dynamics of that kind of band, so that even though I didn't know it would last even 12 years, I was very, happy that I was able to contribute that much to the legacy of that band. So it's been something that they're connected in a way, even though completely different music. It's that experience that you get from what it's like to put on a big show and tour the world and do large venues.
Wow, pues dice que sí, que es una gran experiencia, que principalmente de venir de una gira que no era particularmente un éxito comercial, de repente empezó a ascender rápidamente y empezó a tocar en arenas principalmente. Entonces y empezó a aprender la dinámica que se requiere para en esta época de transición, en esta transición. Entonces, él dice bueno, que él de venir de Meatloaf, que tuvo un gran aprendizaje y que conoció mucha gente, que cuando termina justamente de tocar con ellos, pues que ya había adquirido esta experiencia tocando en ciertos lugares, ciertas arenas, luego viene con Kiss y bueno, ya trae esta dinámica y que puede adaptarse mejor, de mejor manera. Y bueno, también, como dice, conoce a mucha gente como Mark, que también terminando su estancia con Meatloaf, pues lo toma y así continúa con su trabajo ya tocando con Kiss y bueno, que él está muy agradecido de que toda esa experiencia le sirvió para, bueno, dejar un legado. Al final, esta contribución que hace a estas bandas, pues para él es su legado y él está muy orgulloso de esta participación que ha tenido con estas bandas. He is answering what characteristics a guitar must have for you to play with.
You mean the actual instrument? Is that right?
Yeah, the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I definitely look for a guitar that feels friendly in my hand, and all the notes must kind of play well. They must speak, if you understand. I look at my guitar playing, especially the leads, as like the way I'm singing on the guitar. So if the instrument can't translate the fluidness of that, then that's not a good guitar for me. And it's not an impossible thing to create a guitar that will work that well, but when one in your hand is not the it's just not, we call it set up right, or there's problems with the mechanics of it, that becomes really hard for the guitar player. So fortunately, I have many wonderful instruments, and I kind of can tell right away when I have a guitar in my hand, you know, if it can work for me to express myself. Music instruments are very personal to artists, but in many ways, quality guitars they're easy to be found, fortunately.
Excellent. Well, dice que bueno, primero el peso, que se debe de sentir ligera y que debe de tener unos buenos leads, que pues, son las guías, debe de sentirse fluido al momento de tocar, que dice que un instrumento es algo muy, muy personal y que debe de ir con él mismo, ¿no? Con el músico. Entonces, él tiene la fortuna de haber encontrado muchas buenas guitarras que tienen las características que él necesita para tocar y dar un muy buen, transmitir lo que él quiere transmitir a la hora de tocar.
Siguiente pregunta. ¿Está consciente de la voz creativa que habita en su mente? ¿Cómo la percibe y cómo la manifiesta en su trabajo artístico?
Bruce, are you aware of your internal voice? Sí, sí es más o menos eso. Quisiera saber más o menos a qué va la pregunta.
Sí, ¿cómo percibe él esa voz interna creativa y cómo la manifiesta?
Okay. Are you aware of your internal creative voice of yours, and how did you manifest this voice inside of you artistically?
Yeah, it's a good question. The way a musician expresses themselves is a very hard thing to explain. There's an inner voice in a way, and I usually explain it as if that even though I'm not really singing, but I'm singing in my head and telling my fingers how to do it. And I find, because I've given, instruction to guitar players, I've given lessons through my years, and explaining how to be creative with that and how to make it really effective is a very hard thing to do, because I can show some techniques of why I choose what I'm going to play, but what inspires me to do that, I could never teach, because that's an emotion in a sense. And that emotion of being creative, in some ways it's an instinctual kind of feeling. So knowing a song is like forever, and certainly the notes need to be gentle and beautiful, and melody should be kind of caressing and loving, is a little different than the aggressive attack of the unholy solo, where I'm fast and furious and bending crazy notes with distortion and wah-wah pedals. So music is so incredibly moving to people, and everything that's involved in that creation is really a gift from the musician, and it's not easy to instruct or explain.
Thank you. Dice que, bueno, que es difícil porque difícil de explicar, porque de repente él puede enseñar una técnica y ser muy bueno en esa técnica, pero al final es una emoción y esta voz interna pues le dice qué emoción qué emoción tiene en ese momento y cómo la puede transmitir. Entonces no es lo mismo, como dice, no es lo mismo tocar una melodía suave, como acariciando la guitarra, a los riffs más agresivos. Entonces es un poco difícil de explicar, porque al final, como dices, es una emoción y bueno, cada músico tiene esta forma propia de sentir esta voz interna. Bruce, what memories do you have about this album, Carnival of Souls, and if you are preparing some surprises around this album in your show in Mexico?
it is a very controversial album. It was very different for Kiss. Many fans really do love it. And some don't understand it, you know. And the purpose of Carnival of Souls, well, music was changing and getting darker and meaner and grungier, hence the grunge bands, you know. And I have to admit, Gene was very attracted to it. Paul, not so much. But Revenge was heavy, but it still didn't really make huge business, even though it was an amazing record. So at this point, Gene kept writing some songs that were very dark. Eric Singer and myself would work with him. I was contributing a lot of very heavy riffs that were certainly aggressive and kind of mean and interesting. And I'm proud of the record, but I don't lean on it to represent me completely, okay? Sometime it would be a nice challenge to perform the entire, you know, album. But what an interesting set that would be. But we have been talking about a song from that record for sure. And since there's so many other great albums for me to celebrate, I'm not going to get too heavy with Carnival of Souls, but I like that people talk about it, okay, and that it's still a big part of history. So it's something I'm still proud of.
Excellent.
Thank you, Bruce. I see you in Mexico.
Ahí lo
Ah,
tenemos. There you go.
Thank you.
Bueno, dice que es un álbum muy controversial y que no toda la gente lo entendió cuando salió. Que bueno, tiene ahí él estaba construyendo ya algunos riffs de heavy metal y que también estaba, bueno, que Jim estaba muy apegado a él y que Paul no tanto. Que si bien está orgulloso de su trabajo, Bruce no es exactamente la música que lo representa al 100%, pero que sigue estando muy, muy orgulloso de haber dejado ese álbum porque es parte de la historia de Kiss. Y bueno, está muy orgulloso también de ese trabajo polémico, pero que bueno, que es parte de la historia de Kiss.
Exacto.
Okay. Bruce, what is your opinion around the streaming platforms that are putting in some troubles to the musicians and around the world? What is your opinion about the streaming platforms like Spotify, and
Sure.
how do you think it's affecting the music?
Well, we live in a digital age. Everything is done. You can, if you want, all your business and banking and flying and airlines and booking and reservations and eating and everything in your life could be done from a device you can hold in your hand. Okay. When these platforms were introduced, obviously, it gave people maybe less incentive to purchase the album or the CD because now they can just press a button and listen to it. Now, the convenience of that is fantastic. Unfortunately, those companies certainly don't pay the artist really an amount of money that makes it, for the large part, for musicians to make a living from just their music. So then they have to tour, they have to sell merchandise. Kiss fans like physical. They do like CDs. They like live shows. I enjoy the streaming platforms. I understand that it's not something that pays the artist well, but I understand the necessity of it and the convenience of it, okay? And when someone says, yeah, you know, this guy just put out a new record, I could just go to my Spotify and check out the band, okay? And it has changed the music industry. I have Apple Music, you know, I have the Spotify platform, and I just think they're not going to go away. Hopefully, maybe they could be a little more fair with the revenue earned if it's true that they're not sharing it properly. But the convenience is there, and this is just the world we live in now, But live shows, I know that when I manufacture a CD to offer or an LP, people will want the physical and they will buy the album and the CD, but I also know I have to put it on streaming as well. I have no choice. So it's just the way the kind of world of entertainment is right now. Same thing with movies. Major movies come out on Apple TV instead of a theater. It's streamed right into your home. And a lot of people have wonderful televisions and sound systems and all. Is it the same experience as going to a theater? No, but the convenience of it is amazing.
Excelente. Bueno, vivimos en un mundo en el que tenemos todo al alcance de la mano, y bueno, es parte de lo que vivimos hoy en el mundo. Entonces, al principio estas plataformas pues aparecieron como una gran oferta y pues todo parecía ir muy bien. Sin embargo, con el tiempo pues nos fuimos dando cuenta, se fue dando cuenta que estas compañías pues no pagaban lo suficiente al artista. Entonces considera que él no, bueno, que los músicos no reciben las suficientes cantidades o las cantidades justas que deberían de recibir por este material. Ahora, al final, pues la gente lo que quiere es algo real, algo que sea propio, algo físico, como un disco. ¿No? Los fans de a de veras pues quieren realmente el disco físico. Espera que, bueno, que estas plataformas no se van a ir, pero espera que en algún momento pues se puedan adaptar y se pueda hacer algo, sobre todo algo más, ¿cuál fue la palabra? Digamos más justo también para las dos partes, para el artista. Y bueno, pues al final nos tenemos que adaptar y así es como es esta industria en este momento, pero ojalá en algún punto se pueda volver más justas las cantidades y haya una forma en la que se pueda trabajar con ellos de mejor manera.
Vamos con la última pregunta, Omar, antes de despedirnos. Oscar Sosa quiere saber qué canción guardaría Bruce para que todos los mexicanos lo recuerden. ¿Qué
A ver,
canción elegiría él?
otra vez, por favor.
¿Qué canción elegiría Bruce para que todos los mexicanos lo recuerden? Recuerden su legado.
Oh, Bruce, what will be the song for every Mexican reminds you?
What song I'm reminded from Mexico? Oh,
Yeah.
Well, it might be I Was Made for Loving You. I don't know.
That will be
But you mean a Mexican song or a Kiss song?
Let me ask. Sí, una canción de Kiss, ¿no? O mexicana.
Puede ser cualquier canción, no es específica.
Yeah. Any song. Probably a Kiss song, yeah.
Yeah, the Kiss song. I'd have to, I'm not even sure what the biggest hit was there. I'm sure Eddie might know, But I would think I Was Made for Loving You was really huge there, right?
Totally.
Yeah, because it has that, I don't know, there's just something that, I don't like the original. I like Alive 3 better. You know what I mean? If I do that, it's going to sound more like that. But, I mean, only because the original was a bit more Kisco, as they called it, disco and Kiss, But it was a brilliant song, and how could you not want to sing along at the chorus? And even when I jammed with Gene 2 years ago, I was shocked when he said, and we're going to do I Was Made for Loving You. And I looked at him like he was crazy, because I know he was always like embarrassed with that song. Meanwhile, there he is performing it and getting people up on stage to sing along. I think it's I think he's come, he kind of changed his mind with it because of the kind of the good feel that it gives people. Why not?
Totally. So you will choose I Was Made for Loving You?
You said, well, I think that might be part of my trip, but that right now for that question, I'm going with that, I guess. Okay.
Okay. Sería básicamente I Was Made for Loving You. Piensa que esa es una de las canciones que es un hit de Kiss aquí en México y que probablemente sea la más grande. Pero bueno, creo que nos quedaríamos con, con esa. ¿Qué opinan ustedes, no? ¿Cuál creen que sea la canción con la que más recordaríamos todos a Bruce Kulick? The fans are asking for Walk Alone, but
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, that song, very, very special to me because it's the only Kiss song that I sang. I didn't ask even to sing on a Kiss album. It came up from me working very hard with Gene to finish the song, which took a lot of revisions, you know. And then I just sang a version because, you know, it kept changing. And when the co-producer, Toby Wright, who was working on Carnival Souls, heard it, he convinced Gene and Paul Bruce should be the one to sing it. So it was very, very odd that it happened. Although there's a very special connection. So I'll have to talk to Eddie about that one. Okay.
hey.
We wish we can hear
We
it.
wish. Okay. I get very emotional when I sing it too. It's so intense for me to share. I did it on one of the cruises and people were crying out there. I was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? It was crazy. So we'll see.
Eddie, ¿quieres agregar algo de esa canción?
Y digo, sin duda es algo de las canciones top, ¿no? Y obviamente, como dice Bruce, que tuvo la oportunidad de cantar desde el disco y es algo que los fans están esperando. Y if you want to do it, Bruce, we're ready. We can do
You know, it's
whatever.
very, very complicated with the tunings. You know that, okay?
Yeah,
But I'll have a conversation with you later about that. Okay.
we can try. So the
Yeah.
answer.
Excelente, excelente, señores. Pues Sergio, tú nos dices.
Vamos ya a concluir con un mensaje final. Me gustaría primero que empezáramos por Carnival of Kiss, dignos representantes mexicanos que van a compartir el escenario con Bruce Kulick el 21 de noviembre en la Ciudad de México y el 23 de noviembre en Monterrey en el Café Iguana. Carnival, les escuchamos.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes a todos. Pues nada, para nosotros obviamente es un gran sueño poder tocar con Bruce Kulick, ¿no? Imagínense que desde niños estábamos siguiendo a Kiss y poder tocar al lado de él es un sueño y bueno, también es la perseverancia de tantos años de estar trabajando nosotros como banda y alcanzar todo esto. Digo, no lo hemos hecho solos, también con la ayuda de Omar, de mucha gente. Y ahí estamos, hemos estado y estamos listos y emocionados, ¿no? Por tocar al lado de Bruce.
Yeah, I think we are humbled for this. It's a true honor because before doing the Kiss tribute band, we were Kiss fans since we were teenagers or so. We're not that old, and it's true honor. I think for the Kulick fans, for the Kiss fans, for ourselves, and we're gonna try to do the best we can in the songs and the performance, and I think it's going to be a great experience to all the fans.
People that know me are aware that I'm very humble. I'm never bragging about I'm the Kiss guitar player, you know, who are you? You know, it's just not my personality because I have so much respect for so many musicians who I admire. And like last night I went out with my wife Lisa. We went to see a dear friend, my friend Zach Throne, play with Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. And at the venue in Vegas, I'm in Las Vegas, there were quite a few people that approached me and they were just so excited to say hi. Can I have a picture? I don't want to bother you, you know. And I'm always polite because I'm just so really surprised that they'd recognize me, that they'd want to say hi, and they always share something kind about what it means to them, what I contributed to Kiss. So when you go to a whole different country, I do think it's magnified. It just becomes even more intense. And I'm very aware that I'll never get used to it, but it is a wonderful feeling to know that you're respected and loved for the music that you shared.
Thank you, Bruce. We are waiting for you.
Okay.
Omar.
Muy bien, disculpen, me estaba aquí atendiendo un tema. Listo, pues, señores, pues les agradezco muchísimo de verdad que hayan estado por aquí con nosotros. Los esperamos, por supuesto, ahí en la Maraka el día 21 de marzo. Este va a ser un show muy, muy especial, una noche dedicada a Kiss y vamos a tener un gran cierre. Bueno, primero con Carnival of Kiss, tocando algunos temas de Kiss y por supuesto el gran cierre con el señor Bruce Kulick. Espero que hayan disfrutado esta conferencia y por supuesto quiero cederles la palabra a los músicos de Carnival of Kiss también para que nos inviten el 21 de noviembre y el 23 de noviembre en la Ciudad de México y en Monterrey respectivamente y nos despedimos con Bruce en un momento.
Pues ahí los esperamos el 21 en la Ciudad de México, en la Maraka, y el 23 de noviembre en Monterrey, en el Café Iguana. Y para nosotros, digo, va a ser una gran experiencia y vamos a dar todo lo mejor para que la gente se vaya súper contenta a su casa y de tener la gran experiencia de tocar con este gran músico, Bruce Kulick.
Bruce, your last message for all our friends of the press.
I'm very flattered. I see we had a very large group. That's wonderful. And I can feel the passion and the interest in me coming to your country. So that just really makes me feel wonderful. I do want to share that. And of course, I look forward to working with Carnival of Kiss on putting together the best music we can. And I'm just, very excited to finally be back in Mexico. And I want to thank you, Omar, of course, and your agency for being so ambitious in reaching out and getting me involved. And I look forward to meeting all of the press. And of course, most important, getting to perform for the fans of Kiss, and Bruce Kulick in Mexico at 3 events. So it's going to be very exciting.
Please invite them, invite all of them to your shows, please.
Yes, please come to the shows. Look, if, there's nothing like a live show because it is just so exciting to be there in the moment. I'm very aware of kind of how to put a good set together and expressing the best of Kiss. So you're going to really enjoy it. I'm just know that great music will be celebrated for the right reasons. And I know that those venues are really cool. I checked them out. And I just think it's going to be a big rock and roll party for everybody. So come down. And I know there's some meet and greet opportunities. Omar knows the details. I don't yet. Okay. But we're going to have a nice rock and roll party at each of those places. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Excelente, señores, pues ahí está, ya lo saben, 21 de noviembre en la Maraka a las 8 de la noche ahí en la colonia Narvarte y el 23 en Café Iguana allá en Monterrey y por supuesto no dejen de ver las redes sociales de Rockland, este evento que junta a 800 músicos tocando al mismo tiempo. Vamos a tener al señor Bruce Kulick como invitado especial, junto también con su amigo Gilby Clark de Guns N' Roses y la presentación especial del señor Tim McCord, guitarrista de Evanescence. Esto es el 20 de noviembre en la Arena Ciudad de México en el evento Rockland. No dejen de ver sus redes también. Los esperamos en los shows exclusivos del señor Bruce Kulick junto con Carnival of Kiss en una noche completamente de Kiss. Vamos a tener muchas sorpresas esos días que ya les platicaremos más adelante y sobre el meet and greet vamos a tener algunas novedades el día de hoy o mañana mismo les daremos la información sobre el meet and greet. Les agradezco mucho a todos la presencia y pues los esperamos.